I never thought the night I was supposed to remember for the rest of my life would turn into a nightmare so vivid it would haunt me for years. I had imagined my wedding day 1,000 different ways, each one ending with laughter, dancing, and love. But reality has a cruel way of shattering even the clearest dreams. The ceremony had been perfect, at least from the outside. White roses lined the aisle, the sun poured through the glass windows of the chapel, and everyone I loved was there, smiling and cheering. I had spent months planning this day, making sure every detail was flawless. And there he was, my husband, or at least the man I had believed him to be, standing at the altar with a smile that had always made my heart flutter. I can still feel the way his hand felt in mine, warm and strong, the way his eyes met mine as if promising forever. I should have noticed the subtle flicker of unease, the way his smile didn't quite reach his eyes. But love blinds you, doesn't it? It tells you to see only what you want, to believe only what your heart whispers. And I believed him wholeheartedly. The reception had been a blur of champagne, laughter, and music. Everyone danced, everyone celebrated. And I smiled because that's what you're supposed to do. But deep down there was a small knot of unease in my stomach. A whisper that something wasn't right. I pushed it aside, telling myself it was just nerves, exhaustion, the weight of the day finally catching up. Finally night fell. Our suite at the hotel was breathtaking. The kind of room you only see in movies, with a balcony overlooking the city lights and a bed so large it felt like it could swallow you whole. I thought of how lucky I was, how perfect everything had been. And I let myself relax for the first time all day. And then he left. First I didn't panic. I assumed he had gone to make a phone call, to check on something, anything. But as the minutes ticked by, the room grew colder, the silence more oppressive. I tried calling his name, my voice cracking slightly, but there was no answer. The city lights outside seemed dimmer, almost mocking in their indifference. I waited. I tried to convince myself it was nothing, that he would return any second. But midnight arrived, and with it an unmistakable sound. A faint shuffle, a whisper, a movement that didn't belong in our room. My heart froze. I strained my ears trying to pinpoint it, and then I heard it, laughter. Not the kind of laughter that comes from joy, but the kind that cuts deep, sly, and intimate. I don't think I fully processed it at first. My mind refused to accept the truth, clinging to hope like a lifeline. But then I remembered. He had promised me forever. And now, in this room that was supposed to be our sanctuary, I realized that forever had been a lie. The sound led me to the truth, the messages on his phone, the fleeting whispers I had ignored, the way he had avoided my gaze over the past months. Everything made sense now. Each small detail a breadcrumb leading to the horrifying revelation. He had never loved me the way I thought he did. And I wasn't just abandoned, I was betrayed. I felt a storm of emotions, heartbreak, disbelief, rage swirling inside me. My hands shook, my chest ached, but somewhere deep, a quiet, steady resolve began to form. I would not be broken by him. I would not let this betrayal define me. Over the next days I observed, planned, and waited. I listened when he thought no one was around, watched when he believed I was distracted. I pieced together every lie, every hidden whisper, every secret meeting. And when the moment came, I acted. It started small with subtle shifts. A hint of discomfort here, a missed appointment there. I ensured that his reputation, the carefully curated life he had built, began to crack. Friends who once praised him started noticing inconsistencies. His colleagues began to whisper. Every lie he had buried began to surface, each one amplified by the evidence I had collected silently. And I grew stronger with each passing day. I exercised, I studied, I rebuilt myself in ways I had long neglected. The pain that had once felt like chains became fuel. I wasn't just going to make him regret leaving me. I was going to thrive in a way that left no room for doubt, no space for his selfishness to touch me again. Finally, the night came when we faced each other again. Not in our wedding room, not in the guise of love and celebration, but in the light of truth. He saw me, truly saw me, for the first time since that night. Gone was the quiet, vulnerable woman he had taken for granted. In her place stood someone confident, unshakable, and completely untouchable. And in that moment, I watched the regret cross his face, fleeting but undeniable. The subtle way his hands trembled when he spoke, the hesitation in his voice, all the things I had endured, the betrayal, the abandonment, now reflected back at him. It was a small victory perhaps, but it was mine. And it was enough. From that night on, I made a promise to myself. I would never rely on someone else for my happiness, never allow anyone's actions to define my worth. I had faced heartbreak, betrayal, and loneliness, and I had emerged not just unbroken, but empowered. The sounds that had haunted me at midnight no longer held power. I had rewritten the story, and this time I was the one holding the pen. Looking back, I don't feel anger anymore, only clarity. That night, When he left me alone, it seemed like the end. But in truth, it was the beginning of discovering the strength I had always carried inside me, the beginning of taking control of my life, and the beginning of a journey that would leave him wishing he had never underestimated me. And so the next time someone tries to break you, remember this. The night may be dark, the betrayal may sting, but within you lies a power far greater than the pain. You can rise, you can reclaim your life, and you can ensure that those who hurt you regret it with every breath they take. I am living proof of that truth.